Hey everybody, it's BSJ. Whether you know me from Dota or whether you don't, this is going to be my first video for my new channel that's talking about all the ways that I'm trying to work on my own mindset and basically improve my life quality as a whole. And so for every video, we're going to have like a question that needs to be answered, and the question that I've found myself asking myself a lot, and maybe a situation you guys have found yourself in, and how I've gone about really changing my life for the better in that regard. So, without further ado, with the first video, the question I have for you is, have you ever done something knowing that it was a bad idea? That you have this gut feeling that you've made this mistake before, and even though you know better, that you still make the mistake anyway? Well, if that's the case for you, like it was for me, then this video is absolutely for you. So what are some good examples of this happening? So for the sake of this video, we have 3 examples, which I'll be referencing throughout the course of the video. So example number 1, you're snacking on some chips and you say, I'm just gonna have one more. And then 10 minutes later, you've eaten the whole bag. Sound familiar? Example number 2, you're playing some video games, you lose 5 games in a row, and you say, I'm going to play one more until I win. You end up losing the next 5 games in a row, and suddenly you look at the clock and it's 3 a.m. and you have work in the morning. Example number 3, you get done with work. You're exhausted. You tell yourself, I should go to the gym today. I've said I was going to start working out. And of course, your laziness gets the better of you and you decide to just go home. So what tends to go through your head when these type of things occur? Well, for me, I begin to get in my own head. I tell myself, I just wanted a few chips. I didn't want the whole damn bag. You realize it's 3 a.m. Your mind is racing about how you're not going to get any sleep before you go to work tomorrow. Then you dread even waking up in the morning, so then you don't even want to go to bed because you know the next moment that you're conscious, you're going to be awake in the morning feeling like crap. So then you prolong your sleep even longer. And in the third example, you beat yourself up every time you look in the mirror, every time you take your shirt off, every time you think about your appearance, knowing that you could have gone to the gym, you haven't been working out, and that if someone less lazy were in the exact same situation as you, they would have gone to the gym. For so long, I was filled with this sort of self-loathing about these occurrences. And for me, I just simply could not figure out how to fix this problem because I knew the freaking answer. Like, if I know what I'm doing wrong and I'm still doing it, how do I fix that? This led to even more self-loathing and more doubting of myself, because if I know the answer and I can't do it, what's the point of even knowing? So I can tell you, after many attempts of focusing on the decision itself, that I have learned that that's the problem. And how about I shift my focus to rather what decision I'm making to when I make the decision. What I'm trying to say is that I decided how many chips I was going to eat when I was hungry and I was already eating. Have you ever thought about what it's like to go grocery shopping when you're hungry compared to when you go grocery shopping right after you finished a meal? I decided whether or not I was going to play more video games when I had already lost 5 in a row. I was already tilted, I was already frustrated, and I was trying to chase the losses. In this case, it is useful to think about how happy and how positive your mindset tends to be when you load up the game in the first place, compared to the mindset that you have after losing those 5 games in a row. And then in the third example, you're deciding whether or not to push yourself and work harder to go to the gym right after having a long day at work, where you're already tired. Imagine giving yourself the choice every single morning of whether or not you were going to go to work in the first place. Wouldn't you think that you're going to be tired every single morning, and if you had the choice, you simply wouldn't go to work any day of the week? That's effectively what you're doing at the gym. So maybe you're picking up what I'm putting down, right? These decisions are being made in a vulnerable state, whether that I'm hungry, whether I'm tilted, or whether I'm just tired. So what can we do differently? Well, we can change the time that we make this decision. So there are 2 ways that I've come up with that we can solve this problem. But before I lay out the 2 ways, we must first remember that awareness that we are making these mistakes that we know better than is absolutely essential. And that the only way to know that we can even choose between these 2 options to solve it in the first place is by being aware of the type of mistakes that we're making. So once you're confident that you're aware or that you've worked on your awareness, I now see 2 options. The first option, we set ourselves up for success by making the decision before it happens, because we know that it's going to happen anyways, i.e. we are preparing for the inevitable dilemma. In the first example, we make the choice that if we want to stick to a healthy diet, we can eat 10 chips. So before we start eating, we open the bag, put 10 chips in a bowl, seal the bag, put the bag back in the cupboard, and eat the chips over in the living room. In the second example, you go into your video game session knowing that you have to wake up at 8 a.m. and that you feel you need at least 8 hours of sleep. So you need to go to bed by midnight. And it takes you about 1 hour to wind down before you go to sleep. That means you decide before you even start playing that you will always be done with video games at 11 p.m. This decision can be made any day, anytime, as long as it's before you play. In the third example, you schedule gym times for the week. Every Sunday, you set up a workout regimen that says you will go 3 days a week at these times after work. You pack your gym clothes, you pack your towel, you pack your shower necessities before you go to work and take them with you. What are we accomplishing by doing these preparations? Isn't there still a chance that we'll make the wrong choice when the time comes? The answer is absolutely, but you are creating a situation that tilts the balance in favor of the healthy decision, whether it is that you have to put more effort than previous to get more chips, or consciously going against the decision that you made earlier, or suffering the sunk cost of packing all of your stuff, taking it to work with you, and then not using it at all. What I'm basically trying to say is that these preparations make the healthy choice more enticing. So that's option number one. But what if that doesn't work? What if we simply lack the self-control? And let me tell you, I've had to go nuclear and go to option two. Option two is contingency plan. In this case, we manufacture a situation as best we can that can be refined over time where we will not even have the choice once the time rolls around. So, in the first example, we buy the chips at the grocery store when we are not hungry. You separate them into smaller bags of 10 chips right when you get home. We lock them in a safe that only our partner that lives with us or our roommate knows the combination to. We tell them what time and when we plan to eat these chips and that they are required to get them for us, and then they lock the safe. Situation number two, set a sleep timer on all of your devices, or even potentially have your electricity in the room that you game in shut off at 11 p.m. So if you're still trying to play, you will literally have your computer or gaming console shut off automatically, and you'd have to call the electric company to turn it back on. In the third situation, when packing your gym clothes in your backpack, include your keys to your house or something else that you absolutely need before you go home, and drop all of that off into a gym locker at your gym so that you would have to go back and pick it up. I know what you're probably thinking, right? All of these solutions are relatively extreme. You know, we went from 1 to 100 real quick there, from option 1 to option 2. But like I said before I led into option 2, this can start small. We can start by packing the chips in individual baggies once we get home from the grocery store. And if that still doesn't work, then we can go to nuclear by having our roommate or partner take them out of a safe for us. The point is that every time you make the choice that you're not wanting to make, the choice that you beat yourself up for, you run it back. You go back to the drawing board and you say, this is the plan that I concocted for myself. What fell through? What did I not account for? And basically, you're solving the puzzle that is your brain, your bad habits, and your bad tendencies. So every time, don't treat this as a failure. We're treating this as a puzzle that must be solved and something that we can simply try again. It is an experiment. We are establishing a hypothesis and we are testing and seeing if it works. Now, this is a process that I've been doing now for about 2 or 3 months, and every single bad habit I've had that I've become aware of over time, I take little baby steps and slowly chip it away. And I can tell you that even though these problems don't go away overnight, the one feeling that I no longer have is that I am repeating the same mistakes with no sign of progress, no light at the end of the tunnel. And that's the feeling of dread, self-hatred that this video is targeting, and I can hopefully alleviate for any of you that buy in to this solution. I hope you guys enjoyed video number 1 of the new channel. Thanks for watching. Please, if you do enjoy this content, I will be releasing a video every single week talking about basically the life decisions I'm making or the philosophies I'm taking to change my approach to the things I'm doing. And I'll be doing that, like I said, every week. See you guys next time. Like, comment, subscribe again if you want more content. See ya. Bye.